Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, the question of the day from yesterday was, how does this coronavirus going to change you? And my answer, I think everybody's grown an appreciation for those who they love, because this is really taxing on that. So putting the number one reason aside, which is the obvious reason for everybody, life has changed for everybody forever. We're no longer naive as to what a pandemic can do. I don't think I will ever be unprepared. And I think that that's going to change the way I buy things and keep things. Now, I'm not a saver. I'm more of a minimalistic personality. So it doesn't mean that I'm going to have junk in my house. But I do want to get more into making sure that I have staples in my house, that if this should ever happen again, there won't be that panic. Now, we didn't hoard anything. I mean, I don't have a garage full of toilet paper. We didn't go out, but we really did have to shop. Normally, my household, we don't shop in large bulk items, even though we're a lot of people, because my dad likes to go out every day. And so the day before, we might say, oh, what do you want for dinner tomorrow? Let's make chicken. And my dad will go out and get some chicken. Or, we might plan a meal a couple of days in advance. I have a couple of canned goods, but not much. And then I usually just buy the vegetables fresh, everything fresh. Now I kind of have to think that maybe I should keep staples in the house, emergency things, and that's something that I'm really looking at in the prepper community, very shocked that, hey, they were right. You don't want it to be bedlam going out. Now, I'm very lucky now that we do have enough staples in the house that nobody is going to starve, and we're not doing without. The only thing that we've had to go out and get replacement of so far, since we've been stuck in the house like this, was some of the fresh goods. I think today my daughter snuck out of the house and got milk because I was sleeping, and she knows I would have told her no. And we got some milk and stuff like that, like eggs. Stuff you can't keep long term, but I did manage to get a can of dry milk. We're just not so sure we're going to use it. I might use it in cooking if I could find something that you use dry milk for. So that's the way my life is going to probably change. I'm wiser now, and I'm going to be more prepared. So the question for tomorrow: what is the one thing you have done that will define your lockdown? So, for example, for us, I think the craziest thing I did was put a trampoline in my living room. What have you done that's out of the ordinary specifically, and that you will look back and laugh and say, when we were in lockdown, I did this or I got this? And that's tomorrow's question. Let me know in the comments below. Let's have some fun with it. Back. Okay, today we start the skin, but before I delve into actually drawing on the paper, I've got a lot of lesson to give to you. And this is the picture that we've been working on. It came from Elena Lazareva's Elegant Beauties book, and that's available in her Etsy shop. The link is in the description. I've been promising you guys really dark skin, and there's not a lot of demonstrations of really, really dark skin out there. And it's like one of my number one requested skin tutorials that I really haven't finished in all this time that I've been doing lessons, and finally found a picture that really worked. Now, these pictures that I'm about to show you are not developed pictures. They're only my color swatches where I basically put the color on the page, and I could see what it will look like developed, but I don't develop these. I'm going to show you the difference in the color palettes that I've chosen and the recipes. This is the first one, and I know it looks really weird, but when doing dark skin, there are things that are different than doing lighter skin. First of all, you don't want to, where your highlights are going to go, you really don't want to get your other colors in there. You really want to keep your lights light and your darks dark. That's why she looks like she's got vitiligo. Also, when doing black skin, I'm going to recommend you have a blending pencil. And this one happens to be by Derwent. It's really the only one that I own is the Derwent blenders. There's two of them. There's a blender and there's a burnisher. This is the blending pencil, and it's got, instead of pigment, it just has clear. I recommend using a blending pencil for this because normally I will blend out with the lightest color, but lay down for dark skin is important, that you do it in a certain order and you do it very smoothly. It does make a difference, your lay down. So if I put a white layer onto the dark skin, it's not going to be as crisp. So that's why I recommend the blender. But when you use the blender, you have to use very light layers. If you use a heavy layer, you're going to have to go heavier with the blending pencil. And if you go too heavy with the blending pencil, you are going to burnish your paper and you're going to lose your layers. So when you're using it, I use it in very light circles on light layers, and you can see it blends up nicely and it doesn't destroy my paper. Just like that. And you can get a smooth finish on it. As I was picking the colors, what I said was I wanted to do red undertones. And here's where it's really going to make a difference. I'm going to turn the light bulb on for all of you when you're going through these colors. This one I started with an undertone, and I went really dark with the undertone. I started with black raspberry. I used sepia, burnt ochre, black and white. And the 20% gray and the white are going to be for here. I only did a little bit of the gray and the white. I used the 20% over here just to make sure that the color was the right color, and it was. So this is one of the choices that I have, one of many. Number two, I started with a undertone of nectar. I went sienna, light umber, dark umber, black, and then I want red in the picture because it's what the inspiration picture has. Normally I might not put the red in. That's going to be a decorative thing. And the red, I'm going to use black raspberry. So on the first picture, I used it as an undertone. This one, I'm going to use it as the last color, the overtone, that's going to add that spark of red into it. And that's picture number two. And you could definitely see a difference in the way the colors look. This being much more red, this is a much more fleshy pink. Now, on this one, it got really dark. And please don't look at my lighting and everything. I'm just testing colors. And it started with an undertone of nectar. And then I used burnt ochre, sepia, and black. And this is the tone. I didn't really blend out all of this or really work on it over here. I just wanted to see what everything looked like together. And this would be sort of the tone of the skin. So it is very dark and it's definitely very red. Now, number four, I started out with an undertone again of black raspberry. It's very red. You could see the difference. It's a very reddish skin tone. Then I used the sienna brown, light umber, dark umber, black, white, and the gray. So it was a little bit different, where on number three, I did the undertone in the nectar. The undertone here is black raspberry. Now, those are the four that I'm picking from, and I'm going to be doing one of those. There's a fifth demo picture here, and I just wanted to show you the difference. When I did the Indian tone with the yellow undertone, I started it with beige. And I wanted to show you what a big difference there was to a red and to a yellow undertone. These colors I did identical. So my laydown was identical. The only difference was I did the undertone in beige, and here the undertone is done in black raspberry. And you can absolutely see the difference. Every other pencil was the same except for the undertone. So that undertone pencil is really going to be what sets off your skin tone for any skin tone that you use. My lightest skin tone that I do, I usually start out with light peach. So it's a good idea to experiment, and always my recommendation is to have two pictures, one that you're working on, and that would be this picture. This is going to be the picture. And then experiment like you would with makeup with exactly what you want and stick to it. Another tip that I want to tell you is, now it's not done in this, work in layers. You want a smooth and even tone on your pictures. So don't do it all over the place and then start getting mixed up with the what layer you are with one. Finish one layer, finish two layers, finish three layers. Now, I usually don't work that. I'm usually all over the place. But when it comes to doing dark skin, you really want that continuity of color. If you don't, she's going to look like she's got vitiligo. And if you don't blend out dark skin really, really well, she's going to look like she needs a shave. Any wayward lines that you put on her face, she's going to look like she has a hair growing out her face, just like when I did fur. So we don't want to make her furry. We want to make her smooth and beautiful. Here are our choices. Well, we're not going to do this one because this has got the beige undertone. And that's a yellow undertone, and we are doing red. So, and the tone that we will be doing is number 2. I feel that this has really got what is in my mind as far as tones go and where I want to go with this. And this is definitely the tone that I have in my mind. Now, if I wanted to make her like Nubian black, all I have to do is add a black layer on top of this skin tone, and you can make her very, very, very dark, like hyper melanin. You can do that with her, and that's beautiful too. If you've seen some of the models with the really dark black skin, they're gorgeous. So you're going to keep your lights light and your darks dark, and that's the trick to doing dark skin. We're going to be starting this skin tone tomorrow, and if you guys have any questions, just ask away, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.